Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Luke's TV Talk, where I go over some of the most recent TV episodes I've been watching. And for this video I'll be looking at episode 8 of She-Hulk. But just before I get into that, I did a review for the new movie Smile, so if you're interested, go give that a watch. And also make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future uploads. Okay, so let's get into the plot of She-Hulk episode 8. Two thieves are stealing a TV, but are interrupted by the hero Leapfrog, who tries to fight them, but fails. So from what it looks like, Leapfrog is not a very combat ready hero. He's very clumsy. It seems like he's jumping all over the place, not really hitting properly. Like the thieves punch him in the face and he kind of just flops around on the floor, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I don't know how competent as a hero he really is. He uses his rocket boots, but ends up setting himself on fire. He tells Jen all of this, and puts a case against the suit designer Luke. Jen tells Luke about the case, so in anger, Luke rips the dress he was making for her and banishes her. So obviously it's kind of a conflict of interest, like Jen has to be on the case for Leapfrog, but also has to go against Luke, so I can understand why they're both very angry in their situations and not really understanding at the moment. In court, Luke's lawyer arrives, and it's Matt Murdock. With his expertise in law and heightened senses, Matt gets the case thrown out because Leapfrog used the wrong fuel in the boots. So he says that, he used rocket fuel, or jet fuel it was, and then Luke's like, I told you not to use it, it says in the instructions what to use, and the judge is like, because you didn't listen to him, it's thrown out. So basically, Leapfrog got played by Matt Murdock. Jen and Matt meet and hit it off in the bar, with Matt giving Jen some good advice. They both have to leave for work. So basically, Matt's like, oh yeah, Jen can help people with the law, but when that doesn't work, She-Hulk can help them outside of the law. And Matt would know this very well because he's a lawyer by day and a daredevil by night. So he understands what she's going through, but then they have to go leave to do their separate work, which is their hero jobs. Todd asks Jen to meet supposedly for work, but ends up getting too close and Jen leaves. So basically, he's for some reason still trying to get close to Jen, and she's like not having any of it and basically just shoves the table against him and just leaves because she's like, nah, I'm not dealing with this. Leapfrog calls Jen for help, and Daredevil is after him. She-Hulk and Daredevil have a quick fight, and she takes his mask off to her shock. So basically they have a quick, punch up. She-Hulk's basically swinging her fist, breaking the ground, and Daredevil's jumping about, doing all these acrobatic movements, and yeah, they're a good match fight-wise because they're very opposing sides, so it flows quite well. Daredevil was after Leapfrog because he actually kidnapped Luke. At Leapfrog's hideout, Matt shows off his skills and heightened senses to take out a load of goons. It's a really cool moment where they have almost a homage to the old hallway scenes in the Daredevil Netflix series, where he takes down a couple of people in a hallway, and then it starts up, it's going to be another hallway, but Jen just falls through the ceiling and is like, okay, that was done, which I thought was quite good. And just before that, there was the moment where they first met and he showed himself, I'm Daredevil. And when he says that, the old theme song for Daredevil plays in the background. I absolutely love that. It gave me a right good smile just hearing that small tune in the background. Jen saves Luke and Leapfrog tries to escape but injures himself. After a quick chat, Matt and Jen hook up and spend the night together. So I think this worked really well because over the course of the episode they slowly got to know each other, and because they're both superheroes they got closer that way as well, and I think it was earned, them getting closer and spending the night together. I think they really liked each other's company for the most part. The next day, the lawyer awards happen, with everyone celebrating, but Hulk King appears using Jen's stolen phone info and a recording of her and Josh's night together. So basically, Josh must have set up a camera while she was in another room, basically recorded revenge porn to use in this instance. And this sends Jen into a rage, who destroys the screen and attacks one of the supposed assailants, who there was a group of 4 at the back of the room, all in balaclavas. So possibly that was someone involved, but we don't know yet. But then she's surrounded by the DODC, so it's all fallen apart. This is an awful evening for Jen. She basically showed her worst side, which is the Crazy Hulk version, and everyone's probably going to be scared and worried about her now, especially the DODC, who are not very tolerant of superheroes using their powers, especially in these kind of instances. I think this was the best episode of all of them so far. It covered all the bases that we wanted from this series. We've got the lawyer aspect, we've got the superhero work, we've got the Jen having her good life, and we also got connection to the wider Marvel Universe. I think it did a really good job of connecting all of those pieces. So Leapfrog is a rich entitled idiot. I thought he was like a C-list superhero that was trying to be more than he was, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a superhero, and he just so full of himself. He was just like, oh yeah, I can do everything, and he was just such an idiot in the end, and ended up hurting himself because he's that stupid. It is great to see Luke again. Like, he's the suit designer for the Marvel Universe at the moment, so he's done Daredevil, She-Hulk, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he pops up in other or movies, like he's done other people's costumes. I'd love to see that. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock is still great. I remember watching the previous seasons on Netflix. He was awesome and amazing in them, and that just carries over into this. He hasn't missed a beat, and he's just as good as he was then. Matt and Jen's chemistry was great to see when they first met each other in the bar. I think their conversation back and forth was really good, and then as Daredevil and She-Hulk, I think it was also really well done conversation, and then I think their just relationship as a whole was really fun to watch. I love Daredevil's introduction, his new costume, and athletic style now. So in the original series, it was a very more grounded fist fighting style, whereas this Daredevil's a lot more acrobatic, and he's more jumping around and using the environment to his advantage, and I love to see that. It was such a fun watch. Daredevil has some funny lines, but it doesn't cross the line into obsessive amounts. Like, a lot of people were worried that they would make a mockery of Daredevil, because the original series was very grounded and gritty, whereas this one's a lot more, not light-hearted, but not as gritty. And I think they did a really good job of towing the line of not being too funny, but having a few lines in that made it funny enough. With how well they hit it off, I'm glad they hooked up in the end, and I think it was a good payoff for their developing relationship, and I'm looking forward to see how that changes over the future. And then the Hulk King setting She-Hulk up to look like a rage monster, I think was really cool. It destroys her image and makes her look like a monster, which is what Bruce warned her about earlier in the season. The only one nitpicky thing I thought was that I hope Intelligence's plan was to make Jen look dangerous and a danger to society, and not just humiliate her with that video. If that were the case, they would have been really short-sighted, because I think it would have been a better plan to make her look dangerous instead of just embarrassing her with a video, where that's not great for her. That's a horrible thing to do. But I think using the video to make her look like a villain, much more interesting way to develop She-Hulk's character. But yeah, but apart from that small little nitpick, I love this episode. It's the best one so far. Like I said, it does all the great things, the lawyering, overall MCU, and so on. But yeah, if you've been staying with this series for this long, then I definitely recommend you finish it off, because I think the last episode is going to be a big hitter, and it's going to end on a good point. So hopefully, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this episode. If you did like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future episodes. And until next time, I will see you all later.